Ken Devine is our Notre Dame insider. He's on the other end of our line. He's going to sing this song right now.
You're not going to get me to sing.
I walked you right up to the verse there.
I know. It took me right to the words I knew.
I'm sure your toe is tapping, though. There's no doubt about that.
Even at this ungodly hour of the morning.
What about that game on Saturday? I know you don't like the result, but son of a gun, that was a real barn burner against Michigan, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was, Michael. You know, losers say deal, but if you look at that ball game, the whole secret was when we lost our quarterback, we lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame had the ball 15 possessions, 7 of them while Chris was quarterback, and he scored 4 of the 7 times. The eight series of downs they had the walk-on and a freshman who did nothing but throw 2 interceptions. So if you extrapolate all of that, they've got a heck of an offense. And if this kid can stay healthy, they can put 45, 50 points on the board, I think, pretty easily. But they can't with him on the bench and, like I say, a walk-on and a freshman trying to replace him.
Well, sooner or later, somebody's going to design some kind of defense that can contain Denard Robinson, or maybe they won't, because he's fun to watch. I know probably wasn't fun for you, but you got to admit he is a flash.
Well, but if you analyze the whole game, Michael, he was their total offense.
Yep.
Okay? They didn't score a point up until that last drive in the second half. So the defense did stifle them with 4 3-and-outs and something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Notre Dame had more yardage than Michigan did. This kid was a total offense. Michigan State, I think, in my opinion, is a far better football team than Michigan. Far better.
So that'll be a formidable challenge, and if I have it right, that's Brian Kelly and Notre Dame's first road game coming into Michigan State under the lights on Saturday night. Well, let me just say one last thing about that Michigan game. I was awfully surprised to see the Notre Dame quarterback throw the ball out the back of the end zone on the last gasp. But did you hear anything about why he didn't at least, let him volleyball it around a little bit?
His adrenaline was pumping.
I guess. He threw it into the 6th row.
That's exactly what it was. And this kid, this was his second football game. He's a rookie quarterback also. Coming into this season, he had played 32 minutes of football. So he's a rookie, although he's probably one of the better quarterbacks in the country. In high school, he broke all of Jimmy Clausen's California records. So he came in more touted than Clausen, who, by the way, is going to start Sunday for Carolina. But anyway, this kid is a dynamic quarterback, but he's never played. He came off having his bell rung for 2 quarters. They lost him for half of the ball game. And what he can do is, Kelly has got quite an offense going there. We haven't seen it yet. But they can score in any way. That first drive, here is the key, Michael. That first drive that Notre Dame had, 71 yards, 17 plays. It keeps Denard Robinson off the field.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way to beat Michigan, is just control the ball. Now, after the kid got hurt, Michigan goes up 21-7. Now they got to open up the offense, and he threw 1 for 72 yards, 1 for 90-some yards, 53 yards, but they just couldn't catch up on it. It was too late. It's going to be a great ball game, I think, Saturday. This is Michigan State. I saw this morning is 3.5-point favorite, and probably should be, no question about it.
Yeah, well, we all remember that Notre Dame game a couple of years ago in the rain there at Spartan Stadium when the Spartans had control of the game and Notre Dame came back. It was a primetime game, just like it will be Saturday night. So the Spartans definitely want this one. What do you make of Brian Kelly so far, his demeanor, his performance, having observed him and listened to his press conferences?
Well, I'm amazed at the guy. He hasn't said the wrong thing yet. Refuses to throw the kids under the... When they asked him about the quarterbacks, what was the problem with the 2 quarterbacks? And his answer was very simply, I failed to prepare them for the ball game. And that's been his moniker. He's not going to throw anybody under the bus. He said the coaches and the offense. But he never used, at one time in any of the interviews, he never mentioned the fact that he lost his quarterback for better than 50% of the plays.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody seems to love him, and they don't think, honestly, if the kid stays healthy, Michael, they win the ball game. Notre Dame wins the game if Chris stays healthy.
Well, there were some people who thought that Michigan State might have turned to Brian Kelly back when he was at Central Michigan when they were looking for a head coach. They ended up choosing Mark D'Antonio instead. So I'm sure down deep, Brian Kelly has a little score he'd probably like to settle on Saturday night in East Lansing here with the Golden Domers. And I know you'll be enjoying the game. I will too, and we'll talk on Monday morning about the result.
Look forward to it.
All the best to Ken Devine, a Notre Dame supporter. He'll probably be sitting watching the game in his golden helmet.